Hey guys, welcome to question FM313 of the Further Maths Fortify study guide. This question reads, before this question, it reads, Evan is writing a book and requires help from his genius friend Matt. Matt helps Evan by writing 12.5% of the pages in the book. The book contains 268 double-sided internal pages. Each page measures 210 millimeters wide, 297 millimeters high, and has a thickness of 0.2 millimeters. FM313 then goes on to read, in 2017, the book sells 3,095 copies. Matt will be paid by finding the volume of the pages he contributed to from the copies sold in a given year. Assuming Matt receives $2.10 per cubic centimeter he contributed to, the amount of money that Matt should rightly receive can be found by using the formula, and then we're given 5 different options. So the way we're going to start this question is by looking at a setup for finding the correct formula, so creating a formula of our own. So we're going to start by finding the volume of a page. We're going to multiply that with the number of pages. We're going to times the volume of a page and multiplying that by the number of pages should give us the volume of all the pages in one book. So once we have that, we want to multiply that by how many copies of the book have been sold. After we've done all that, we want to multiply that by the percentage that Matt actually contributed to, because we want to know how much he contributed to. And then finally, once we've found that, we're going to multiply that by the payment that Matt receives per cubic centimeter. So we want our first part here, or specifically the volume, to be in cubic centimeters before we start. So the rest of this multiplies out to give, so the rest up to here multiplies out to give the cubic centimeters that Matt contributed to. So finally that payment is making the payment based on cubic centimeters. So keeping in mind that volume, we want that in cubic centimeters when we can. So starting with our volume, to find the volume of one page, we want to look at the length times the width times the height, so just the 3 dimensions of our page. So if we plug in the 3 different dimensions, we should get 210 by 297 by 0.2. Now keep in mind that this calculation here is actually giving an answer that's in millimeters cubed, because these measurements are in millimeters, which means that our volume that we output is also going to be in millimeters cubed. So in order to convert this answer from millimeters cubed to centimeters cubed, you're familiar with the simple conversion, which would be divide by 10 to get from millimeters to centimeters, but because we're looking at cubed, it's going to be divided by 10 cubed, which means we take this initial expression, the 210 times 297 times 0.2, and we divide that all by 10 cubed in order to get an answer that's in centimeters cubed. Excellent. So something else that we can look at is also the pages, so the number of pages that we have. So the number of pages we've been told is 268. Now in question FM312, we had to worry about both sides, so timesing that by 2, but that was because we're looking at surface area. Because we're looking at volume here, we don't need to double the amount of pages, we just leave it as 268. Next thing for us to look at is the number of copies that have been sold. So the number of copies we're told is 3,095. Next, the percentage that Matt contributed to. Now we're told that he contributes to 12.5%. This would be the same as either writing 0.125 or 12.5 over 100. Percent literally means per 100. Finally, the payment that Matt receives per cubic centimeter. So the payment that Matt receives is $2.10 Now, since we're giving our answer in dollars, we're going to keep this in a dollar figure just as it is. So finally, putting all of those pieces together, we should get an answer that looks something like this. Now, the order doesn't matter, of course, guys. So if you have things in other orders, you just got to be aware that the answer could be in a different order and look for those similarities. But the main features of this formula should be the same. So we've got 210 by 297 by 0.2 over 10 to the power of 3. So we've got our volume in centimeters cubed there, timesing that by the number of pages, timesing that by the number of copies that we've sold, timesing that by the percentage that Matt has contributed to, and finally multiplying that by the amount he receives per cubic centimeter. We get this formula here. Sorry, my text is running out, which looks a lot like option E. If you guys have any questions about this question for us, please drop them in the comments below. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.